Here he comes now, the big hand.
I'm Mr. White Christmas. I'm Mr. Snow. I'm Mr. Icicle. I'm Mr. Ten Below. Friends call me Snow Miser. Whatever I touch turns to snow in my clutch. I'm too much.
He's Mr. White Christmas. He's Mr. Snow.
That's right.
He's Mr. Icicle. He's Mr. Ten Below.
Friends call me Snow Miser. Whatever I touch turns to snow in my clutch.
He's too much.
I never wanna know a day that's over 40 degrees. I'd rather have it 30, 20, 10, 5, and then it's free.
He's Mr. White Christmas. He's Mr. Snow.
That's right.
He's Mr. Icicle. He's Mr. Ten Below.
Friends call me Snow Miser. Whatever I touch turns to snow in my clutch. Too much.
Too much.
The Big List, Part 2, the Christmas episode, this episode of Destructomundo.
It's on, it's on. There's no sound. Play with the rabbit ears.
Reports, incredible as they seem, are not the results of mass hysteria.
Mass hysteria. What do they think we're imagining all this?
Destructomundo.
Witnesses to the effect that people who acted as though they were in a kind of trance were killing and eating their victims prompted authorities to examine the bodies of some of the victims. Medical authorities in Cumberland have concluded that in all cases, the killers are eating flesh. People they murdered. Repeating this latest bulletin just received moments ago from Maryland. Civil defense authorities told you that murder victims show evidence of having been partially devoured by their murderers.
Dum dum dum.
Yeah, Santa's on his way. It's the Christmas episode.
Yes, your wish list for the apocalypse.
That's right.
I want a BTR-80.
That would be cool.
What's BTR-80?
It's those 8-wheeled Soviet armored cars.
What color would you paint it?
Flat olive.
Wow.
Awesome.
That would be pretty cool. I can't think of anything better than that. 8-wheeled vehicle.
You should paint like the eyes and shark teeth on the front of it, like a flying tiger.
Absolutely.
They do have that like kind of
Yeah,
boat hull.
Yeah, that kind of pointy front end. That would be rad.
That's my favorite show. I'm going to talk about my favorite show.
What?
Riptide.
Oh.
With the giant
Dun,
pink,
dun, dun, dun.
the giant big helicopter with the face on the front.
The big old Sikorsky.
Ugh, bad stuff.
Oh, that was terrible.
They had nothing
but
on
yeah,
it.
it was awesome. They lived on a boat. They had a nerd friend with a robot.
A robot.
And they had their own helicopter. And they were running a private detective agency. That's the greatest thing ever. I mean, really, they had all the earmarkings of a great show. It's just that,
And yet somehow it was.
I don't know. I just don't get
There was no Simon and Simon.
Because I sure.
Oh, it was no Airwolf.
No, and that's another thing. That's what I want. I want that big, like, forward,
Man,
giant truck he had with
Season 2 just comes out on DVD this week.
Simon and Simon.
No, Airwolf.
Airwolf.
Season 2 of Airwolf.
Awesome.
Oh, that's good stuff.
So you want Airwolf for Christmas?
You want that for Christmas, don't you?
No. I don't know. I wouldn't be mad if I got it, but I'm not going to go buy it.
Man,
Yeah,
what y'all get me Airwolf for? I totally wanted Blue Thunder.
So what do you want for Christmas? For
Jetpack. That's what I want for
Jetpack?
every Christmas.
well, no. I used to have two things. I wanted a jetpack and a robot, but then I figured actually the ultimate thing would be a robot that transformed into a jetpack.
Oh, hell yeah.
Because see, if you had a jetpack and you were going to go flying around in your jetpack, you couldn't take your robot buddy with you.
Yeah.
And then you think about it, like
You probably wouldn't want to wear it everywhere while you.
But see, that's what I
hanging
mean.
out.
See, then you think when you land with your jetpack, where are you going to put it?
Right. Hey, that's a good point.
What are you going to do with your jetpack? But wait, if you landed and your jetpack turned
Becomes your robot buddy.
turned into your robot buddy, then you could go do stuff and hang out with your robot buddy.
Hell yeah.
And then when you're like, we should probably get back home. I got stuff to do.
You'd go-
And he would transform into jetpack.
I can't make the transforming noise. Yeah.
And then he would become like the jetpack, and then he would strap in, take off.
Strap on your robot and go.
Your robot strap on. Your jet-powered robot strap on.
Oh yeah.
See it?
I've seen that in a movie.
I mean, isn't that? I think that's awesome.
Oh, it's absolutely awesome.
A transformer jetpack robot.
Yeah, as if jetpack wasn't cool enough.
Or
Yeah,
robot.
Robot.
You put the two together. Yeah, that'd be cool.
Transforming jetpack robots for Christmas.
Yes.
I don't think Santa's going to pull it off.
That'd be cool.
I'll just steal. I wouldn't mind having some explosives.
Explosives.
Yeah.
There's a lot of like gadgets that I would like to have that are just ridiculously expensive. I'd like to have real night vision gear.
Yep.
Yeah.
Which is like easily several thousands of dollars. It's not easy to find, period. But if you do find places that sell it, like the really good stuff, you're looking at easily, $3,000 to $5,000 easily. Probably a lot more than that.
Right.
For anything worth owning in terms of cool shit. I think that would be awesome. I don't know what the hell I would do with it, but I think it would be really cool to have like real night vision gear.
Just drive around in your car without your lights on.
I mean, I don't know what I'd do.
Hang out in the park.
Yeah, it would just be cool, just to have it. Yeah, that would be cool.
Yeah, I can deal with that.
Yeah.
How much is night vision stuff?
I mean, it's expensive. The stuff, basically, the rule of thumb is that anything that you can afford isn't worth owning.
Right.
It's all like Gen 1. Even the Gen 2 stuff is crap, pretty much. I mean,
I know that, like,
it works. You can actually see in the dark, but the resolution's crap. I mean,
right.
The cool shit stuff is...
Is it all video monitor stuff, or does it actually enhance the visible light?
It enhances the visible light, yeah. I mean, the really cool shit you're looking at, yeah, you could easily spend $5,000 to $6,000 for a decent pair of night vision goggles.
What about Predator goggles or something?
Predator
like
cam?
Heat vision goggles.
I don't think they make those. You can get the thermoptic cameras.
You can get those big ass scopes, but they're like telescopes, basically.
I mean, you can get like those thermoptic video camera things that'll record like to anything like any other video camera, but they're that thermal heat vision stuff.
Right.
You can get those because I've seen them with some animal documentary stuff. They use them. There was that really bad Bigfoot hunter show that was on Outdoor Living Network for a while, and it was really just kind of like a marketing show for outdoor gear. But they were like all these fake paranormal hunters,
And they went out there with all their.
But they had a
gear
bunch
on,
of
trying to
cool.
find
Yeah, they
Bigfoot.
had a bunch of cool stuff, and I don't know who sponsored the show, but they had like those. There's those thermal vision cameras, and they would like sweep the woods at night looking for the heat of a living organism. That would be cool. That'd be cool to have too.
Right. I would think that if you ended up with like thermal optics.
But I've never seen like anything that like fits like a night vision gear does. That works that way. I don't know. But
no, they don't have any military use.
But I know you can get like an actual sort of like a little like thermal vision sort of video camera type of thing.
Well, that's the problem though. A lot of these things that they're not accessible, and at least on the weapons side of it, all the cool toys, they're illegal too.
But I mean, a lot of the stuff like night vision, if you can get the real stuff, it's hard to find and it's really expensive, and then you can get the infrared illuminators and you can get IR laser designators, and
Well, what illegal gift, if you could have it this year, would you get? Since we're talking about this is our Christmas,
like totally
episode.
illegal to own.
And Santa can actually cross national borders. And bring you some cool stuff. Elf made
100 pounds of heroin.
That'll get you a lot.
Would you just sell it for the cash
Mexican
money?
brown?
Yeah.
What are we
Or would you just roll around in it?
Yes. No.
Pretend you're
I'm having trouble thinking of anything. Because the fact is that if I have the money, I can legally
get a license.
I can legally own just about anything that I want to own.
Yeah.
If I had the money to actually buy it.
If you have enough money for the license, apparently you can buy a howitzer.
So.
Yeah. Well, I think you would end up paying like a tax stamp for each shell. So it would be because you can get grenades, but you have to have like a federal tax stamp per grenade.
Yeah.
Remember the guy that's in the paper? He was
the guy that tried to blow up a mall in Chicago or something.
Right.
Or he wasn't going to blow up the mall, but he was going to kill some people in the mall with hand grenades.
Right.
He tried to buy him in a parking lot.
He was trading speakers.
To an undercover federal agent for hand grenades.
Yeah, 4 hand grenades and a
Dude, you want some speakers, man? These things kick ass.
I'm pretty sure
I need some hand grenades.
Legal to own hand grenades, is it?
You can buy them
if you have the proper paperwork.
But it's the same. It's the federal. They're
but for what reason would they?
They're destructive
let
devices.
you go ahead and own hand grenades.
That's what I mean. Like that's what I'm saying.
Like you're hunting.
Like that's what I'm saying. Like if you have the money and you go through all the stuff, you can legally own damn near anything.
That's gonna.
I
can see that. I just wonder how much it would cost.
I have no idea. I know that the tax stamp is $200. I don't know how much the actual grenade costs. But I'm having trouble thinking of anything
really illegal,
absolutely 100% illegal to own.
I'm just thinking, because toys. Remember, like in the they got like Meisterburger, who outlaws toys. in the Rankin Bass claymation.
Yeah.
Which one was that? The
Year Without Santa Claus?
No, The Year Without Santa Claus is the one with Heat Miser and
Burgermeister is
the Snow Miser.
I don't know.
No, that's the one where he becomes Santa Claus. It's the origin story of Santa Claus.
The ecology of Santa Claus.
Yeah. Episode 1?
Yeah. Santa Claus episode 1. Because he goes up to live with the dudes. Like he's left on the doorstep of the...
the dudes.
Yeah, he's left on the doorstep of the Burgermeister, and he says, put him in the orphanage, the orphan... so they send him to the orphanage, but instead, they're taking him to the orphanage. You all right there? Adam's coughing.
Adam's TB's flaring up. You all right there, Doc? What's that cold?
Shouldn't have sent you those blankets.
Cold air's flaring it up.
But yeah, he winds up getting taken up into the hills and lives with the elves. They're lost in the winter, but the elves find
Getting
him.
weird with the elves.
Yeah.
Huh. I'll do like a real bottle of real absinthe.
Yeah, I saw something on... I saw something on the History Channel talking about various alcoholic spirits, and they ended the show with absinthe, and they had the guy that's making it in France now.
Yeah, that's making the good stuff.
Yeah, and apparently he said that he was trying to make it, but he didn't have anything to work with. He had recipes, but they were, a little arcane, and but he'd actually found an unopened bottle and extracted some of it through the top of the cork with a syringe and tried it and said it was what I was making was way off from what it actually is. So he tried to figure out how to make it, according to proper methods, and now he's got actual absinthe, and it's supposed to be like under the EU's strict, alcohol purity laws, not like the Reinheitsgebot, but for like alcohol, it actually meets and exceeds those tolerances, in the law. I guess I don't know. I don't know. It's always been a thing with wormwood. They say it'll like make you go blind. Is it, or is it?
Well, that's because they were making it was like homemade stuff. But
oh yeah,
the
if you're gonna make homemade liquor, don't make homemade absinthe. It's probably wormwood is probably not the best thing to.
It's actually poisonous.
Right. Well, it copper disulfide, or is it copper?
I can't remember. It's
copper something. It's what gives its green color. Is what is the poison in? I forget what the chemical is, but it's copper something. I want to say it's copper sulfide. Is what gives it its green color, but it's also poisonous. But
I thought that was Midori.
That's what does Midori taste like? Is it melon?
Melon.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I'm pretty sure absinthe is about as far away removed from melon flavored as you can get. So
I thought it was the pucker.
Pucker. No, what's the company? De Pucker.
De Kuiper.
De Kuiper.
De Kuiper makes all the schnapps. There's that apple pucker stuff.
Oh God. I love the peach schnapps.
Man, I saw on the bargain shelf at the liquor store by me that popcorn schnapps.
No, dude.
I swear.
I don't want that for Christmas.
No. Because you're gonna have like people over, and you're gonna get some liquor, just for your cousins and
that's what
for their kids.
All I have
to sleep before Christmas.
All I have is popcorn schnapps, man. But you're welcome to it. That's when you don't
want
people.
Like 28 days later, when they grabbed the bottle of what was it, creme de menthe, and pour themselves like a glass of creme de menthe.
No thanks.
Yeah, it's got to be awful.
Gick.
And you can tell the guy that's pouring it, the big dude, the father of the kid, is hating it, but he's like, yeah, that's all we got, because he's all into like single malt scotch when they go to the grocery. But
that's the redhead guy from Braveheart.
Is it?
Yep.
Oh, I didn't even recognize him in that.
He also plays somebody in the one of the Harry Potter movies. The guy with the weird eye.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, that's okay. Yeah, I didn't even recognize him.
Well, it's like 10 years later.
Well, sure, but, not quite. It's like 5 years ago when 28 Days came out.
Well, I mean, like 10 years between Braveheart and 28 Days.
Right. Braveheart. Freedom!
Oh, my.
Yeah, so, yeah, I want a jetpack, but I know I'm not going to get it, so.
Yeah.
And you want an 8-wheeled armored vehicle.
That would be cool.
And the only thing I would do with it, I would just change out the engine to like something more common on this continent.
Yeah, then some weird,
some like
Russian diesel engine.
I'd trade it out for just
the fact of the matter is, it's probably a copy of a German diesel engine that has been in use since World War II. So it more than likely has a carburetor and lots of our older parts in it, and you wouldn't even have to really worry so much about finding parts as much as you would like finding anybody who knew anything about carburetors.
Yeah.
Which people act like is an arcane science, but honestly, I'd rather have a carburetor on a vehicle than a fuel injection system if the shit came down, because the only thing you can do to a fuel injection system, if you think that the fuel injection system is at fault, is to change the fuel injector.
Well, look, when what's his name, Benz invent the carburetor?
I don't know.
And he the story was that I heard that he envisioned it basically after his daughter was playing with like a little perfume thing, with a little ball.
Right. Well, it works on the same principle. What it does is it doesn't, like people tell you, a car does not run on liquid gasoline. It runs on the vapors. Well, it's not necessarily so it runs on vaporized fuel. It's tiny droplets of gasoline.
Yeah.
That are burn off.
That's why like if you pour gas on the ground and throw a match on it, probably won't.
It
go
probably
up.
will put the match out.
Yeah.
To be honest, and unless it's in an enclosed area, because the vapors from the fuel need to concentrate in order to ignite. So, like, if you dropped a cigarette butt in a gasoline puddle, it probably wouldn't.
That's not the way.
It's not a good idea.
That's not the way it worked on Chips, dude.
Oh no.
Chips taught me that all gasoline is on the verge of exploding all the time. It doesn't take anything. Spark, ding, your bumper just barely smacks something else. Your car goes up in a fireball, dude.
Ponch's radiant smile.
Everything that's gasoline powered is on the verge of exploding
at all times.
At all times. I'm terrified to drive to work
in the morning. It's like strapping yourself to a nuclear bomb. Man.
I get in the car, dude. That's like just a big fireball waiting to happen. At any moment, my car could just explode.
Yeah, it's.
I bump into something, I could just explode.
That's always killed me in movies. I watched the second Matrix movie. The Matrix Reloaded was on the other day.
Matrix 2 Electric Boogaloo?
Yep. That was on, and Trinity, the chick, like the old cougar that's all out for Keanu Reeves, was riding her motorcycle and jumped off a building and landed on top.
Better not be a spoiler, man, because I haven't seen it yet.
It's the beginning of the movie. It like jumps off the building at the beginning of the movie, on a motorcycle and lands on top of the. Well, she dumps the bike, and swan dives down and lands, all.
Matrix-like.
Yeah,
Matrix-esque.
Yeah. But the bike actually lands on top of like a guard shack, which I'm pretty sure wasn't filled with like, explosives.
Barrels of naphthalene.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was just a guard shack.
But she basically drops a motorcycle on a guard shack.
Right, and it blows up.
And there's a
with
fireball
such
like some sort of Union Carbide plant explodes.
Right. I'm thinking, man, that gas tank may have had maybe 2-3 gallons of gas in it at the most.
Yeah.
I'm having a hard time really thinking of anything significant that I want. I want lots of little gadgets. I want stuff.
I'll say it right here and now. I don't want world peace because this is our bread and butter.
I keep thinking, I just want stuff, and that's all really just distractions. I can't think of anything significant.
You want Santa to bring you some poontang?
Some poonanny? Santa Claus.
But speaking of world peace, I did see the David Bowie, Bing Crosby duet.
The little drummer boy?
Yeah.
Oh, that's dreadful.
God. You can tell Bing's like giving him the eye when he starts going like singing. Like,
Bing
what he wants to sing. When David Bowie starts singing "Peace on Earth," he's like looking at me. Yeah, I mean, them like the words.
That's creepy shit. That's some very creepy shit.
Yeah. And Bing slung it at his kids too. Apparently, he was quite the
psycho, asshole, abusive father.
Yeah.
Yeah, one of them killed himself.
Scary, dude.
One of the kids, but I don't know.
No, I just I want hover car.
I want some smart wool socks.
Oh yeah.
I have smart wool socks.
Yeah.
They're awesome, dude.
I know.
What are smart wool socks?
They're designed to...
They're the best friggin' socks in the world.
They're designed to, like, even if they're wet, they're supposed to keep your feet.
And the thing is, Smart Wool makes socks for everything. I mean, I have some hikers, and I have some of the I have 2 pairs of the mountaineering ones, which are like good serious winter socks.
We should probably mention that because this is a show about like preparing yourself for
But they
for the end of everything. If
but
you can find good socks are a really important.
But if you go to their website, I mean they make dress socks, they make running socks, they make walking socks.
They make regular, I mean, like clothes too.
I mean they make
what are they called?
Smartwool
is the brand.
Oh, okay.
But they make. But I have some of the medium hiker crew socks. Medium weight
socks.
No, I don't have any knee socks. But I have the medium weight hiker crews, which are like the best sort of general purpose do it all, like active wear type.
Are they from genetically modified genius sheep?
They're from sheep with giant heads, like giant butt-shaped brain heads, you know.
Oh God!
But they're awesome, dude. They're awesome.
I mean, like wool is like the best natural fiber for keeping you warm.
Yes,
right.
But it's so itchy, especially I have.
I
have dry skin,
okay.
and B, I'm kind of hairy, so.
I don't. I used to think that, but if you get really good quality wool stuff, it's not. Because this, I'm actually wearing a lamb's wool sweater, and this is not at all itchy.
Yeah.
It's very comfortable and warm, but they're not at all itchy. They're the best, and wool doesn't compress like cotton does. Like if you have cotton socks and you wear them for a little while,
they get thin.
The fibers just crush, but wool doesn't do that. It helps better plus they're blended with stuff.
Yeah.
So
well, they're different things entirely. I mean,
wool
fiber is hair fiber, whereas plant fiber does break down.
I think wool is something I've heard different figures, but it's like up to 80% of its heat retaining capacity, even when soaking wet.
Yeah.
Right. I have a wool coat.
But the problem is, when it does get wet, it takes a gazillion years to dry out,
and weighs 10
weighs 10 times what it did dry. So
you
it's like
the
trade-off is like the fleece type stuff. The synthetics are very lightweight and reasonably warm, but when they get wet, they lose their insulating qualities, but they dry out very quickly.
Yeah.
But with synthetics, you got to be careful if you're around like a campfire and stuff. I mean, just don't sit next to the fire. It'll burn a hole. You know, sparks will burn a hole in a wool coat too, but it won't melt like synthetics.
It's like, in regards to clothing, pretty much like the common knowledge for everyday use is like the exact opposite. That like for survival, it's like you want wearing like everyday clothes. I'm wearing jeans and a flannel shirt, and like survival wise, that would be fine if I don't get wet.
Yeah. That's the problem. Anything cotton has virtually no insulating qualities. It's not particularly durable.
No, denim is durable.
It reasonably, yeah.
Well, I mean, what other
with stuff like the heavy sort of cotton canvas stuff.
But you don't want to, if you're like going around in the snow, you really.
I was gonna say,
the last thing you
really don't want to be wearing jeans.
Yeah, jeans are the worst thing in the world in wet weather. Really, in cold weather, period, because they give you a false sense of security. Yeah. You're not insulated by them.
They're thick, but they're not insulated.
Yeah, I was gonna say they're.
You can get the insulated ones with the flannel.
I said the fibers aren't dense enough to be very well insulated.
Yeah. Imagine if those flannel
and cotton and even with stuff like sweat and stuff, cotton just soaks up moisture and holds it right next to the skin.
Right.
There's like cotton socks are terrible for that type of thing.
Right.
Because they just trap moisture right next to your foot.
See, that's the problem with any kind of activity outdoors for extended periods is your feet. Your feet suffer tremendously from any kind of outdoor activity.
Unless you levitate.
Yeah, unless you levitate.
Then it's your mind.
I mean, because as you walk, your feet are sweating.
I've been levitating
regardless of what you're wearing. I mean, if you're lucky enough to own a pair of Gore-Tex boots, the sweat is wicking itself away, and chances are, if you got a pair of Gore-Tex boots, you got socks to go along with them. You're not going to just wear anything.
I'll put that on my big list as a good pair of boots.
Good pair of boots is an important thing.
Good footwear and good socks, man. It makes a hell of a difference.
Just, I mean, what I normally wear, I have a pair of skateboarding tennis shoes, even though I don't skateboard.
I have some Chuck Taylors and some Nike 4030s that are bright freaking green. I can't wear it with anything but shorts.
Lately, 90% of the time, if it's not raining, I'm wearing these Merrells, which are the most comfortable shoes I've ever had in my life.
I've got skateboarding shoes. I've got chukka boots that I wear to work.
Burnout.
And I'm wearing,
What?
my Doc
Burnout.
Martens.
Chukka boots are for burnouts.
I mean, no, these are
That's what the Vans rep said.
These are like LL Bean chukka boots.
Oh.
Okay.
So
They
you're
call
like
them. They're just like ankle boots. They're
Oh,
like,
well, that's what chukka boots are.
Yeah.
But yeah, if you the Vans rep.
Yeah, I watched.
told me once that
Uh,
chukka boots were.
somewhat on topic. I watched Earthquake a couple of weekends ago.
Oh yeah.
The 1974. I think that's an Irwin Allen film.
Disaster movie.
Yeah, one of the big disaster epic from the 70s, with Charlton Heston as the big star. But he was wearing those sort of leather or those suede, those wallaby chukka boots from the 70s through the whole thing, like through the wreckage of post-earthquake L.A. And he had George Kennedy as the grizzled police sergeant, and had a hell of a cast. Had one hell of a cast.
I've seen that.
It's terrible. I was laughing.
If it was Irwin Allen, it had George Kennedy in it.
I was laughing hysterically through the whole thing. But actually, the special effects are pretty cheesy, but it was actually, a pretty good depiction in its own. It's all ridiculously over dramatized, but it was actually in its own way not a bad sort of depiction of like a huge catastrophic earthquake hitting the LA area. And like there's the Hollywood something reservoir dam breaks and it floods part of the whole thing, There's fires everywhere and nobody, knows what the hell's going on, and there's rioting in the streets and the National Guard's out there trying to the funniest little character in the whole cast is Marjo Gortner, if you know who Marjo Gortner.
No.
Terrible actor from the 70s. He plays this kind of loner guy who works in a supermarket and like doesn't have any friends, and he lives alone in his apartment, and he just is like the wall in his bedroom is covered with like the magazine fold-out pictures of bodybuilders and like Bruce Lee, and he sits in an apartment by himself, like working out and doing karate, and he's got like a bayonet collection. So the earthquake hits, and the National Guard gets mobilized, and then he's a sergeant in the National Guard, and then he goes on this total power trip of all, like, now you're all going to learn, you didn't have any respect for me before, but now he's got a gun, so he goes crazy and starts shooting looters, and
so he becomes a warlord,
basically.
warlord,
and he runs across some guys that he used to sort of hang out with, and they made fun of him a lot, and he's like, I'll show you for making fun of me, and it's just ridiculous. He starts shooting people in the streets, but
that's awesome.
It's mass chaos, dude, in the streets. But it's one of those things. It hits one day, this massive earthquake, nobody knows what the fuck to do, and some of the people get trapped in the office building, and they gotta, the stairwell's broken, like 2 floors are missing, and they gotta lower them down on a fire hose, and there's looting and pillaging in the streets. It's got a great cast. Charlton Heston is like this architect, So then, like, when something happens,
Charlton Heston had a job, and then like something really awful happened.
So then,
and then he was there to save the day. That's Charlton Heston's real
something
job.
happens, and there's people trapped, and he's like, my firm designed this building. I know there's an access hatch over here, and it goes 30 meters in this direction, and and it's all this stuff. And like I said, George Kennedy is the grizzled police sergeant who was on like his last day on the job. He was fed up with the system. He wasn't going to take it anymore. But then there's this disaster, and he gets to help people, and he learns, what it meant to be a police officer, and blah, blah, blah. And Lauren Green plays Charlton Heston's boss. Ava Gardner is his boozy, drunken wife. It's got a very young Genevieve Bujold as the widow of a former co-worker who Chuck's now sleeping with.
Of course.
Had a very young Victoria Principal in a tight T-shirt with no bra.
That girl
had
Richard was a main hottie.
She was maybe in her early 20s. Had Richard Roundtree as a motorcycle daredevil.
Awesome.
He was in a black leather outfit with yellow lightning bolts on it. He looked like Black Vulcan.
Cool.
From Super Friends.
Cool.
He looked like Black Vulcan.
Like Devlin, Hank Devlin.
He had bit role Walter Matthau as a drunk, like Barfly drunk, and
that
was a stretch, wasn't it?
They just filmed him, right?
Yeah, Walt, just sit down, and have a drink. You'll be fine. It was a great sort of like I hadn't seen it in years. Just those great '70s over the top. I'm not sure if it was Irwin Allen, but that whole genre of like earthquake,
all the disaster.
the towering,
He did all the airport 77.
I'm not sure if he did all, but he sort of was the
I
godfather.
think he did.
He's sort of the godfather of that whole genre of
Right.
like earthquake, the towering inferno, airport. There's the one with Paul Newman where they're on like the tropical island and the volcano erupts. I can never remember what it's called.
Oh man!
But it's kind of Hawaii-esque, and the volcano's erupting, and they're all trapped on the island, and it's burning. They kept coming up with new ridiculous, and then stuff like the Poseidon Adventure, where they're trapped on the ocean liner.
That they made a remake of.
But all of those ridiculous '70s over-the-top things.
Have they made 2 remakes?
They made one for like Sci-Fi Channel or something.
But,
they made a remake of the Poseidon Adventure for the Sci-Fi Channel?
Something like that.
And then they remade it again for a theatrical release?
Yep.
Wow.
But I'm not sure what any of that has to do with anything. But those movies, in terms of like survival stuff, you can just watch those movies and they're so ridiculous.
If it has Chuck in it, do what Chuck does.
But they I was watching Earthquake, and it was just insane. But it's actually a good sort of a lesson in what not to do. And really, you can sit there and watch. As ridiculous as those movies are, you can watch it and you realize that 90% of the general population will be behaving just like the jackasses in those movies.
Right.
They'll all be like running around, screaming out of control, waiting for someone to save them. There'll just be lots of screaming and crying and like people, driving their cars into buildings because they're hysterical and fleeing down the road like, and crash your truck into a bank and it explodes, I mean, it's just that sort of ridiculous shit. But
so if you're in a situation where this is actually occurring and you're fleeing from idiots on the road and the apocalypse is going on, make sure you have decent socks.
Yes, good pair of shoes.
Right. Well, we'll be back after these messages.
Coming in January from PlanetRetcon.com, The Log of the Crimson Lean.
Captain's Log, October 14th.
Pilot's Log.
I'm recording here.
Record it right.
What?
You're the pilot.
Yeah.
You said Captain's Log.
Yeah.
How about you record the Pilot's Log, huh?
Captain's Log, Mark II, October...
Pilot!
Quincy, shut up and let me make my log.
No, you said we were equals.
We are.
Then you're not the captain, you're the pilot.
Oh, I'm turning this off. I'm gonna have to start... Captain's Log...
Okay, that's it.
You can't let me... Ow, stop it!
Shut it! You want to be the captain? Huh? Be the captain of that!
Ow!
Say it. Say it!
Pilot's Log.
Good.
October 14th.
The Log of the Crimson Lean. For more information, visit PlanetRetcon.com. That's PlanetRetcon.com.
Variant Frequencies, your speculative fiction dial. Find us at www.variantfrequencies.com. Variant Frequencies is a podcast that stretches the entire bandwidth of genre fiction, modulated by a constant element of the fantastic. Every month, we give you a new story, so tune in, turn the volume up, and let some of our weird carrier waves distort your reality for just a little while.
Okay, we're back.
Back from the brink.
Back from the future.
Back from the edge of the abyss.
So yeah, we're talking, about like
stuff.
Well, yeah, any kind of situation where, because obviously the Christmas special is about things that you want. Things
I would
that
like.
You would like
I
to
want.
have.
I want to take a. I want to take an actual
Disney cruise.
Mm.
Oh, I would.
The big red boat.
I would love that.
That's going to be my pirate ship
all-male-
when the shit comes down.
The all-male gay Disney cruise.
I would like to take a real sort of wilderness survival course.
Like
out in the woods for 2 or 3 weeks with some total psycho dude instructor. I'd probably. The only bad thing is I'd probably have to eat bugs. He'd probably yell at me if I didn't want to eat bugs.
I had a friend in high
but
school.
no, I mean,
I'd love Outward Bound.
I would love to something a little more than that.
It turned him into a hippie. He lived in Hawaii and ate fruit for a month.
But no, I'd love to take actually one of those like survival courses or something. I think that would be cool. And then kind of the ones that are like the, because it's got a little bit of the whole, building shelters and
I just want to have sex with Bear Grylls.
And wilderness first. That dude's a douchebag. Bear Grylls is a colossal, world-class douchebag.
Tell us why.
No, I mean, where you get I'm talking about one of those courses where, you get like the kind of building shelter stuff and, improvised ways of making a fire and some basic sort of wilderness first aid type stuff.
I did learn a really good way of getting a fire started once from a friend of mine.
But I would like to. That would be awesome. I think that'd be really cool.
The best
but
way,
I'm sure the guy would like make me. He'd be pulling grubs out of a tree stump and go eat these, pussy. Eat them, you're a pussy. You'll die if you and all that shit. I'm like, dude, I don't want to eat bugs. Come on, I'll do anything else. I don't want to eat a fucking bug. But make me eat bugs, dude. But other than that, I think that would be cool.
Well, my friend told me how to get a fire started once. He showed me though. If you take your fingers, and you know how you take your index finger and your thumb and touch them together. And then take your other index finger and your thumb and touch them together. And then you push them towards each other to where you have like a little diamond in the center. So if you take both your hands and push them together. Okay. It's kind of hard to explain this on the radio.
Okay. But you're doing it beautifully in person.
Thank you. And then you hold it up to your lips and you blow through that at the bottom of, the base of the fire. That actually forces the air out at a much higher velocity than it does if you just blew it out through your lips. And it actually does a pretty good job of enhancing, getting oxygen to the fire. So we were trying to start a fire in a park in Indiana one night, and he showed me how to do that. And I was like, I've been as high as a Life Scout in Boy Scouts, and I didn't even know that damn trick. That's pretty damn good. Because we used to carry, and this is a nice thing to have with you if you're going camping, take some like wood shavings if you have some, and paraffin wax, and you just basically take a pot, like an old pot. It doesn't really matter, man. It doesn't stick. Take paraffin wax. You don't want to take a hell of a lot of it, but what you want to do is you want to take paraffin wax and melt it, and then put in wood shavings until it's like mostly wood shavings, but a bunch of paraffin wax holding it together, and you just mold it into like a ball, and then pack it into some, like a plastic baggie or something.
You can do that
like
with a lot of things.
And it's a really good fire starter.
A lot of guys use cotton balls and Vaseline.
Vaseline?
Yeah. Petroleum jelly.
Does that start like this?
Shit burns good. Burns slow. Because basically the cotton part of it is like the wick, and the petroleum jelly is... Because like petroleum jelly or a cotton ball, neither one works very well on its own. But like the petroleum jelly becomes the fuel, and the cotton part of it is the wick, and they actually burn they burn fairly slowly, much like a little candle. They don't just combust, Like if you throw a cotton ball in the fire, it goes, it's just gone, But if you take the time, like if you take a little something and you kind of soak the cotton balls in the Vaseline and then just pack them into a Ziploc bag and compress them, and then you just take one or two out and like you get it going.
They make a tasty treat too with chocolate.
They're
cotton balls.
They're a really good. Dryer lint's really good too.
Yeah, dryer lint burns very easily, which is why you should clean out your dryers.
If you want to,
because if you want to start a fire in your house, don't clean out your
pack
dryer.
a Ziploc, especially if you have a lot of clothing that's like natural fibers. Obviously, if your dryer lint's made up of a bunch of synthetic crap, it's not as good. But
if you're drying your leisure suits and
if it's if it's a lot of cotton and other
I should take this time to mention we're recording this in the new adjutant news bunker tonight.
The new.
Derek has moved into a new domicile deep underground.
Yes. deep inside the Mount Rushmore compound.
Yep.
The other one, the last one was compromised.
Yeah.
Yes. I've had to move.
The mole men found that.
Due to
one.
some security breaches and the fact that I still can't get the ninja blood out of my carpet, I had to move. There were so many fond memories there, but after I had to kill all those ninjas that night and they smashed my tank of electric eels, it's never been
powered the house.
It's never been the same. I had to throw that
complex rather.
No, I was wrestling that ninja. I had to throw him over the billiard table and into the tank of electric eels. But it was a pretty gruesome death. But the place has just never been the same.
No,
ruined that floor of the handmade Portuguese terracotta tiles. had of course water and ninja blood all over the place. And it's just never been the same.
Well,
plus, once you're on the map with the bad, with the bad guys.
At least now you're hooked up into a new place. When we were moving today, I think we saw a time traveler.
Yes, true, we did.
I think we actually did see a time traveler,
we saw a man walking down the side of the road dressed entirely in white
tracksuit with white or time traveler suit.
Some sort of white synthetic suit, looking strangely out of place. Dare I say, out of time, disoriented.
Yeah, he did. He looked disoriented. Yeah. He was walking and he was kind of looking around like he didn't know where he was
or
when he was.
So he's gonna grab somebody. What year is this? But he was sort of walking down the street in this white sort of nylon suit, looking like he was completely lost in time and space.
And we saw him and immediately was like, what was that?
Yeah.
He looked like an astronaut. It's the greatest outfit ever. See, I would grab the first person I saw and say, take me to where do you have a store where I can buy tinfoil and then buy all the aluminum foil in the store?
No, you just have to
you just don't know what you have here, and put it into a cart.
You just have to grab somebody off the street and go, what year is this? What is this nation called? What empire are you from? What year is this?
So if you can ask Santa for a white tracksuit this year, or you just happen to get one,
you can play time traveler jokes.
Yep. Run out there and just tell everybody.
Oh, that was funny.
Yeah, don't immediately tell them where you're from. Just tell them the greatest line ever. You'll never believe it.
Speaking of which, I recently found it again. I saw it years ago and had it saved on my computer, and then I lost it. But the famous time traveler classified ad, do you know what I'm talking about?
No, I don't think so.
It appeared on the internet years ago, and it was
not the John Titor one.
No, it was this totally anonymous ad that was placed in the classifieds somewhere, and it was like wanted, and it said, and it was one of those perfectly composed little things. It was just enough information, to be hilariously brilliant, but not enough to give away too much. But it just said wanted, and below that it said someone to go back in time with me. was the first sentence. Wanted someone to go back in time with me. Period. And then it was something like, must provide your own weapons. Period. I can't guarantee anything. Period. And it was something like, wanted somebody to go back in time with me, must provide your own weapons, you'll get paid when we get back, I can't guarantee anything because I've only done this once before.
Really?
And that's all it is. And there was a phone number or something, or a P.O. box, and it was this, somebody found it somewhere and stuck it on the internet, and it was I just thought it was hilariously funny. It was this strange little, someone soliciting someone, to go back in time with them from their homemade time machine in the garage or something. It was I'll pay you when we get back, and I can't guarantee your safety because I've only done it once before.
I love the must provide own weapons.
was like, that's just brilliant.
I
It's
guess
like,
that, maybe that's like there could be like a Dr. Quest out there looking for his race band, and that's how he gets it.
I'm like, that was just, it was like,
I'm just a scientist. I don't know what I'm, I need somebody who knows his way around.
I just thought that was, but I recently found it again, and it was just this, little picture of the actual, I guess someone scanned the actual ad, but.
Right.
But.
That's awesome.
That's just brilliant.
Well, speaking of weapons, does anybody have any weapons that they wouldn't mind having for Christmas this year?
I want a hungamunga.
Hungamunga. I'd like to have a Lewis gun.
Well, of course.
Yeah.
I still want a Lewis gun. We couldn't afford to feed it, but.
Well, let's start with the hungamunga. What's a hungamunga?
Hungamungas are much, much less expensive than Lewis
it's
guns.
Is it an African throwing weapon?
That's what I thought. It was like a boomerang kind of.
No, it's more like a weird hatchet sort of.
Yeah, I was gonna say it's the equivalent maybe of like a
tomahawk.
But it's more like a weird.
But it's kind of like a cross between a tomahawk and a throwing star.
Yeah, it's a big giant kind of
bladed weapon with like a handle, and it's kind of hafted.
Yeah,
and it has multiple blades at weird angles.
Yeah.
When you throw it, it's.
It's
not swastika shaped, but that kind of gives you the picture.
Yeah, that's
like
exactly
a swastika with like a handle, and you threw it.
But like every point is like a blade point.
Yeah.
It's like you kind of throw it and it sort of spins. And it's like a big
pretty cool
Nazi ninjas with their throwing swastikas.
I think they're from like Central Africa.
I believe, yeah, they are.
See, that fits in with my movie. I might put that in my movie. Nazi ninjas. Because
hunting for a lost city in Africa.
No, really, the only thing that's in my
city
movie,
populated by white apes. Super intelligent white apes.
Super intelligent white apes. No, it just has to have
and built on top of a lost diamond mine.
It needs to have two things. It needs to have she-wolves of the SS.
Elsa, she-wolf.
Nothing gets me hotter than she-wolves of the SS.
Okay.
I can't help it. Those Aryan women, man, you can't beat them for the hotness.
Oh boy! When I get my internet back, I have a picture to send you. I just thought of something. I slice of deep fried gold I've been sitting on for.
And the other thing is some kind of Hollow Earth plot, but that's it.
See, the lost city is built on top of an entrance to the Hollow Earth. The city
by she-wolves of the SS,
and they're trying to seize it from the race of super intelligent white apes.
Oh man, we totally need to be making this movie.
Crap. We got the phone number for the Sci-Fi Channel,
right? Oh my God, we just like the Sci-Fi Channel would make our movie. They'll
greenlight that in a heartbeat
because they do.
There's a lost city somewhere in Africa, and it's populated by super intelligent white apes.
White apes. And Nazi
who were given
the SS,
and it's built on top of this entrance to the Hollow Earth.
Try to go to capture it.
And the entrance to the Hollow Earth that was covered up by the last of the Atlanteans, who gave the super intelligent white apes this task of protecting the entrance to keep the Outworlders, the surface people, from getting in there. See, and then years later, centuries later. The Nazis are on the hunt for.
Look! I got a hard on.
because there's some treasure associated with it, and they want to get in there, the Hollow Earth and get all the flying saucer technology that Hitler used.
Foo Fighters.
Yes, that was flying saucer technology from the Hollow Earthers. Totally.
That's another episode, but hell yeah.
So then all the Elsa She-Wolf of the SS battalion.
That's who's guarding
SS.
Who's
they're dispatched. SS Death Camp Criminal Battalion.
Why you got to go there, man?
Is dispatched to the Suicide Squad, led by Elsa She-Wolf of the SS.
No, it'd be like
all the 6-foot blonde women with great boobs and nice tails.
Be like SS,
and basically like Nazi outfits, but all
leather,
all redone in leather. Exactly.
It'd be the
leather Nazi.
Yeah, that's why I love playing Wolfenstein, because you get to shoot them, but then go check them out when they're laying on the floor.
The evil Nazi chicks in the skin tight camouflage.
Because they're either really hot, like blonde chicks, or they're redheads. Because either one of them,
sure, really good, solid Aryan stock. With great, Fraulein boobs, That would be, that would be a great Sci-Fi Channel movie.
Oh my God. We were talking about this today, and it was so funny, because we were saying, how funny it would be to remake, for a while it was rumored that Fahrenheit 451 was going to be remade with Mel Gibson as, Montag, I assume. But we were saying how funny it would be, when you go to burn the books, that they exploded. Because they'd have to do that. You light the book on fire, and it's boom. So, basically whenever Montag lights the books on fire in the house, where he's found the books at, that they explode, because you have to do it up like that. It's got to be
Hollywood style.
Sure.
Someone read the book. This would be a great movie. It just needs more special effects and a car chase.
And a car chase.
Yeah. Right. Ray Bradbury wrote really great car chases.
It's what he's known for.
Yes.
Except for Asimov.
And then the big pile of books on fire, and then it just explodes into a slow motion fireball.
And somebody goes flying through the air with their arms.
Because we were saying that would be Michael Bay's Fahrenheit 451.
So you know about the scene where the woman's barricaded in the house with her books.
Right.
It's like, she's not coming out. We're going to have to blow the house. Like the guy with the rocket launcher, through the front door, and it's like... And the big, totally, over-the-top, ridiculous, orgasmic fireball, and everybody's like, oh my God! And the woman blown to bits in slow motion on top of a pile of books, and, God. Some orgiastic splendor of destruction.
Oh my God.
And a couple of really good car chases.
Sure.
And some gratuitous breast.
Something with a helicopter.
Somebody who's really into books, but has big boobs.
Yes. They don't exist in real world.
No,
in the real world,
they're not in real life. If you have real big boobs, you don't have to be into books. It's pretty much how it works.
Yeah, there has to be a scene with people in a car being chased by people in a helicopter.
that hate books.
There's a speaker on the bottom of the helicopter going, "We don't like your books. Books are bad." And the guy in the car is going, "No, books are good."
Lighting books and throwing them at the helicopter. Blowing up.
Oh no! There's a guy in the back. No, it can't be a car. It's got to be a truck. And the bed of the pickup truck's filled with all the books they're trying to save. And there's the guy in the book going, "No, not." The guy in the back's trying to protect the books, and the people in the helicopter are shooting the books in the back of the truck.
And they're blowing up around.
Yes. And he's like, "No, not the books." And they're swerving down. The guy's driving like, "No, we've got to save. These are the last books left. These are the last 37 books left on Earth, and we've got to save them."
Somebody out there has got to be working for sci-fi. We have a decent, sizable amount of people that listen to this show. Somebody works for Sci-Fi Channel. Somebody out there, give us a chance. We will make you a movie that you will never forget. I guarantee.
I will make you a movie better than Raptor Island and Mansquito put together.
I don't know, Mansquito was pretty awesome.
It'll be better than Boa, Boa 2, Python, Python 2, or Boa versus Python. Or Komodo, Komodo 2, Komodo versus Alligator, Alligator versus Bear, Bear versus Dragon, I don't know, Lion versus Octopus.
Ape versus Shark.
Ape versus Shark.
Shark and Bear are best friends, though.
They hate Tiger. Oh, they hate Tiger.
Oh, I love that Space Ghost where they show the Space Ghost nature special where he shows how the shark and the bear are best friends.
That show, that animal face-off thing that was on Discovery.
Oh yeah, where that was pair up two animals
that was like
and figure out who was
shark versus lion. For millennia, the two champions have fought, and it's like, we will finally find out who is the greatest. I'm like, alligator versus octopus or whatever that fucking show was.
It was
retarded.
as bad as CG could get. And,
Tiger versus wolf or something. It was fucking retarded. But.
Oh man!
And then they'd build like the animatronic ones at the end and make them fight.
Yeah.
Like, what the fuck? This doesn't make any sense. And that show was retarded. But I think we've all learned that they really do show some crap on that channel.
I like how they were showing the show that had the guy that would like con people into thinking that he could like get their loved ones back from the dead, to talk like. And they were showing that on Sci-Fi. I'm like, why are they showing this on the Sci-Fi channel?
Because it's science fiction.
It is fiction. It's definitely fiction.
Yeah, but they show a lot of crap on that channel too.
Oh. I love the Ghost Hunter stuff, though. I really love how those guys are like all total Jersey dudes.
Guido plumbers
that are like ghost hunters on the side. The trap is when the light is green, the trap is clear. If they actually had like the gear, it would be a much more.
I'd like
show.
I'd like a little more science in that show.
Yeah,
and a little less. Like guys in mechanics jackets standing around with lots of cable.
Right.
There's a lot of that. Yeah, there's a lot of that stuff.
They're really into their gear, but in a really bad way. They're all about the night vision. They have their night vision in that show.
Yeah,
they got their night vision.
They got some nice equipment.
Oh, yeah. You see, if you get sponsored by a company like that,
That's what I mean, that terrible Bigfoot hunter show that was on the Outdoor Living Network or something. It was like that. They had some kick-ass gear, but
if you get a chance to ask, I mean, we know we're putting this out so close to Christmas. Of course, you won't get a chance to, but we hope you keep this dear in your heart and watch it every year, similar to the way you watch, like Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer and Frosty the Snowman and all the other greats. But like, if you do get a chance to ask for a movie this or anything this Christmas. We get the Boggy
Legend of Boggy Creek.
Yeah, the Legend of Boggy Creek.
Oh, dude, I have that on. I have that on DVD.
That's the best.
I have that on DVD. I packed that up yesterday afternoon.
It's genuinely creepy.
It's good stuff.
I've never seen it.
Oh, it's good.
It's good.
Yeah, it's a good wild man of the woods.
Yeah, it's probably the first real Bigfoot movie.
Yeah,
like that was really. It's mid-70s.
As far as I remember, it is. I mean, it's creepy. It's got like the whole.
It would be. It's one of those movies. It's kind of cheesy and low budget in certain ways, but it's got kind of a really raw quality to it. It's not just like a bad Hollywood monster movie.
Yeah.
It's shot on location. A lot of the supporting cast, it's in the Sulphur River bottoms of northwestern Arkansas, which is where the Boggy Creek monster thing really was.
Right. I didn't want to say Bigfoot because they don't call it Bigfoot.
Yeah.
It's like
but
the
it's
Boggy Creek
a lot of the supporting cast are actually locals, so they're like real. It's like the supporting cast in Deliverance.
You see, that's the thing.
It's a lot of weird,
movies
creepy,
nowadays have like actors doing those roles.
Yeah.
But in a lot of 70s movies, it was really, really gritty. And you would have like people that were just regular people, and it would actually
be a pretty good movie, except like eventually they have to kind of show the monster. It's like all those
right. Well, you do have to blow your wad.
Like so
it's
many
the money shot, man.
Yeah, so many of those monster movies that like it's kind of creepy, but then they got to show something.
Right.
Or like the ghost movies where it's kind of cool when there's just weird shit happening and stuff, but eventually you got to show something. And it just ruins it all.
You see, I've mentioned this before, but my favorite ghost movie is Ghost Story. Like that movie is creepy as hell.
No, the only really genuinely creepy ghost movie is The Haunting, the original version of The Haunting.
With Vincent Price?
No.
Who are you talking about?
That's The House on Haunted Hill.
That's The House on Haunted Hill, right.
The Haunting is the British one. It's got Julie Christie. No, not Julie Christie. Julie. Ooh, what's her last name? And Claire Bloom and Julie. I can't think of who the guy is. But it's one of there's actually several movies based around that same thing of like the group that spends the night in the haunted house, and there's like the scientist guy and the psychic chick. But The Haunting is just 10,000 times better than all those other ones because they never show the thing.
You see,
it's just the big.
That's the important part of like a decent.
It's the big
psychological
evil,
horror movie.
It's the big.
Don't blow it by showing the ghost.
There's so many movies like that are ruined by having to show the monster. But
Alien was so good because you only ever saw glimpses and then only parts of the monster. Yeah. You never fully saw the entire.
The original version of The Haunting, I think, is like 63, but it's really strange.
You see, I'm gonna have to go back and check. There's so many movies that I think I've seen that I really haven't, that I've only seen retrospects of, like stuff like AMC's top 100 movies of all time. Of like scary movies that I can't remember whether or not I've seen them. I don't have the greatest memory in the world, so I'm like, I think I've seen that.
You're probably high.
I was probably high.
You were busy huffing solvents.
No. I was like,
you had gold spray paint all over your
down
nose.
like packing peanuts into like something I could waft.
I was freebasing circus peanuts once.
You were spraying gold.
I thought you got off that boat, man.
I did. After that summer in Uzbekistan.
I'll never forget that summer in Uzbekistan. Over Macho Grande? No,
That's where I got my drinking problem.
I don't think I'll ever get over Macho Grande.
Do you like gladiator movies?
So many people don't get that joke.
Dead air.
Yeah, dead air. Did you hear the ice cubes clinking? Yeah, that's rum, fellas.
In a plastic
cup.
We're
drinking like pirates tonight.
Rum ain't drinking. Rum's surviving.
We are. If you do get a chance to imbibe alcohol this fine Christmas Eve, get yourself some Cruzan Blackstrap rum. It's really good stuff. Like, I've been buying it recently quite a bit, and it's some tasty, tasty stuff. It smells like pancake syrup. It's like halfway, really.
Yeah, that's what I want for
syrupy.
Christmas. I want a case of Hendrix.
I want a barrel of anything alcoholic with one of those spigots on it.
Yeah, old school.
Yeah, I want anything that costs $1,000.
I want a case of Hendrix flown here from Scotland.
You know what I really would be really back to the whole like Destructomundo theme that we're supposed to be keeping on.
Yeah, right.
Hey, these are things we want. I want my own movie on Sci-Fi.
I want one of those Russian like hatchet / machete /
I know what you're talking about.
I don't forget what they're called, like Russian paratrooper survival.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about.
They're like $80 or something like that. I want one of those.
I think for that money, I'd get a Woodsman's Pal.
I want a fire axe.
That's pretty much.
I think I've said this before, and I think you've mentioned it as well. But
I'd like to have a Woodsman's Pal.
A real, honest-to-goodness fire axe with an axe on one end and a pick on the other. Yeah. And I can't find them.
And they're solid red. You can find them online. Yeah.
Well, yeah, but you can't just walk down to Home Depot and grab one, which is kind of important because let's say you don't manage to get your axe before the end of the world. You got to go down to the firehouse and get one. You can't just walk into Home Depot and grab it. You can get a Maddox.
Well, see, all the firemen will be gone because they'll have, in the pre-apocalypse, they'll be going on all kinds of runs.
Man, those guys. The firehouse that I interviewed in the zombie apocalypse episode said they had special tools to deal with the zombie apocalypse.
Yeah, you can get all that stuff. A fire axe, the Halligan / hooligan tools. Well, you can get all that stuff. It ain't cheap, but it's cool shit to have.
What are those, the Halligan tools?
I think they're originally they were known as Halligans because they're named after the guy that designed them, but then it's been sort of bastardized into hooligan tools. It's one of those like fire rescue. It's like a big. It's maybe three to a little bit longer than 3 feet long. It's a big bar. It's got like a pry bar on one end, and a pick, and you can like smash through stuff, pry open doors, pry open car doors, bang. It's a big bar of tempered steel, and it's got different it's got one just sort of straight crowbar in, and the other one's got like a 90-degree bend to it with a big prong,
Well,
and
we used
spike.
to
And
have
it's a big steel bar, but you can break glass, smash through. You can use it like a hammer if you need, or like a pick if you need, like rip through drywall. I mean, it's meant to be one of those kind of do-it-all rescue, fire rescue type of tools.
We had a tool back when I worked in a shop, repairing stuff. We had like a tool that had on the end, one end it had a pick. It was like a big long bar, about 5 feet tall, 4 or 5 feet tall. It was pretty tall. And at the end of it, it had a pick, like a spike.
Yeah.
And at the top of it, it had like a pommel, like a flat, round pommel that you could, like, I guess, bash walls in with or something like that. It was like a wrecking tool.
Let's say some old school wrecking bar.
Right. Yeah. And I mean, I'm not really altogether sure what it was for, and it was always in the shop available for use.
But you can get the stuff like the fire axes and those hooligan tools, as they're sometimes. I mean, you can get. There's lots of websites that sell that, like fire safety rescue stuff.
I wonder what an axe would cost to get shipped. I guess about as much as a guitar.
Not much,
like
not that ridiculously.
I don't know, man. I was I think
for like the old school, like the red fire axe.
Well, we were talking today about the tools.
You're talking about your tools.
Yes.
I don't talk about my tool. I let my tool speak for itself.
Hey. The crowbars, the titanium crowbars. They're running like $80, $90.
Which is a cool thing to have. Yeah, they've gone up in price a lot lately.
Which doesn't make much sense because titanium die casting a few years ago
I have an old
just
school.
Became like,
I have a crowbar hanging in the closet there by the door, ready to bust heads when the dead rise. But it's old school steel.
I'm sorry, I interrupted you though, Adam. You were saying?
What was I saying?
I don't know. What were you saying?
What were you saying?
I don't know.
Oh, I remember.
Oh,
you're radioactive.
Yeah. I was looking at. I think it was Cheaper Than Dirt, and they had like their super sale catalog, and they had like 2 French Army like pickaxes, and it was like some super cheap price, 2 of them for like $5. And I was like,
never been used, only dropped once.
Yeah. I was like, well, that's a great deal, And they were like, but then I noticed like the shipping and handling was something like $30.
Yeah.
Was it from France?
I don't know. It was something. The shipping
and
and
handling.
From
Germany.
The shipping and handling made it cost prohibitive to buy, even at like $10.
Oh man, I totally forgot. Oh man, okay, Jesus, I just cannot believe that I completely forgot to do this. Okay, I'm gonna eat my words. Okay, next show, I promise. We have a Belgian listener that emailed us the other day and like totally digs the show, and was like, if you mention my name on the air, I'll send you beer.
Oh,
I know. I was like, oh, you got a deal, man. And I was, and I forgot to write the stuff down, and so, okay, our illustrious Belgian listener, which is now our mascot, because he's offered to give us beer, and that's all you need to do to be the show's mascot. By the way, we're gonna make sure to put your name on the next episode.
Our Belgian ambassador.
I totally forgot. Like that sucks. I mean, that's like so bad of me to do so. But like, yeah, if we don't do the show at my house, I don't have the computer right in front of me because where I sit, and when we do the show at my place, which really hasn't been done since like episode 8, maybe 9. We stopped really kind of doing the show at my house and doing it at yours, Derek's, and but I had the computer right in front of me, and I was able to read emails, and we had our robot there, and we were able to like read emails. But now we don't do that. We
just don't do that anymore.
Yeah, so we it's not really like we're shunning our fans by any means at all, but we just don't have the information in front of us the way we used to. So. I apologize for that, but
you don't have the infographic.
I know.
We don't have the pie charts
Mm-mm.
and the graphs. None of that.
No.
Spreadsheets.
Overhead transparencies.
Film strips.
PowerPoint presentation.
Slideshows.
Slideshows.
Cuneiform tablets.
Punch cards.
Color form.
Color by numbers.
Sweet. Mighty Man and Monster Maker.
I had that, man.
Hey, that's what I was going to say.
Yeah, that shit was cool shit.
Play-Doh Fun Factory.
Yeah, Mighty
I had
Man
one of those.
Monster
We had the Star Wars Droid Factory.
The Star Wars Death Star.
Didn't have the Death Star.
I had that. It's the best Christmas ever.
We had the, me and my brother had to share it, though, but we had the Millennium Falcon.
Oh.
I have the AT-AT.
It's pretty cool, man.
Everybody loves the AT-AT.
I wanted the AT-AT.
AT-AT's awesome.
I was like the AT-ST better than the AT-AT, though.
I like the AT-AT.
In the movies in general.
Yeah. Oh, no, that Christmas I got the Death Star was the best Christmas ever. But the best Christmas before that was when I got like the Evel Knievel wind up, jump ramp.
That jumped.
Yeah, and because that same year I also got the $6 Million Man. So I got the $6 Million Man and Evel Knievel, which like is the the dynamic duo. They're like the
Which Evel Knievel did you have?
I had the one with the which one did I have? I had the one with the camper.
Okay, I just had the chopper.
I had the bike that you stuck the pull cord thing through and it shot and it jumped the ramp.
All of them.
But mine didn't have anything. It was like the bike and the ramp thing.
But I also got SST crash up derby cars like during that same
Did
time
Did they ever make a Evel Knievel like the what were those things called?
SSTs?
The ones where you stuck that cord through and pulled it.
SSTs.
I don't remember that part.
But Hasbro SST.
But I have the Tron light cycle version of that. But I say did they ever make the Evel Knievel the Snake River Canyon version of that?
Yes. They did.
They did.
They made the rocket.
I thought they did, but I wasn't sure.
Because Evel Knievel's badass.
The Lundergan boys had it.
Mm-hmm. Oh, your friends?
A man, a rocket, a canyon, and a dream.
That's right.
Thought they made that too. But yes, I have the Tron light cycle with the ripcord thing that shot.
Oh, that's awesome. Do you still have it?
Yes, it's in a box with my parents. It's
that's
it's
cool.
Red. I had the Tron figure, the Flynn figure, the Sark figure, and the red light cycle.
Oh, that's awesome. I've never had enough money.
And the little disc that they hold in their hands glow in the dark. And all of the figures glow in the dark. They're little circuitry body things.
Right, yeah, all
glow.
the printing on the circuitry because they were like kind of clear but opaque, like they be red or blue.
Yeah, well they're translucent
or a little purple.
But
they're translucent.
But they are colored. Like Tron and Flynn are blue and Sark is red, but their circuitry glows and their little disc glow.
Oh man, that's
but then I have the
awesome.
I have the red light cycle. It like sort of pops open like this. It sort of hinges open in the middle, and you slide the figure in, and it locks back. And you stick that cord and go, and the little rubber tire on the back takes off, and the light cycle. It's fucking sweet.
Oh my god,
that shit was cool. Dude.
You see, back when we first started the show, we had been asked if we would, like make like a team of, maybe. If we gamed enough to be able to have like a clan, in like Counter-Strike or something like that. And I was like, no, but we could do Tron, and I have like there's a fairly decent light cycle game that this guy came up with on PC. And it's really, really cool. I mean, you can actually, like, play against people. But they updated it, and it looks like shit now. The light cycles don't look right, and I hate it. And it's not good. And you can make, like... You can make the trails come out, like, being bitmapped and everything to where they're, like, textured and stuff. And I'm, like, not into it. But the original version he came out with was really cool. I'll put a link up to the download for the original version. If anybody wants to get like into playing, because I'll send it to everybody, like to where we can like play a little bit of Tron.
Such a cool movie.
Oh man, I love that. I mean, Tron gets maligned by a lot of people for being like totally shit sci-fi. But honestly, it's like, I don't know. It's great. It's got a great soundtrack.
It's no Kroll, man.
It is no Kroll, and I will give you that. But Wendy Carlos never gets the respect she deserves for being like really a pioneer in electronic music. And she does the soundtrack to Tron. And she did the soundtrack to The Shining. And she did the Clockwork Orange.
It's her first big break.
Yep.
But Tron also features Journey's Only Solutions,
which is the greatest song ever.
It's the like love theme from Tron over the ending credits. Journey's Only Solutions.
But if you get the Tron DVD for Christmas, you should,
It's good shit.
Oh,
my brother burned me a copy last week.
Thank your user.
I was over there and I'm like, dude, make me a copy of Tron. Because I haven't seen it in a while.
Right.
Oh, yeah, it's some good shit.
So does anybody have any closing comments for this Christmas episode of
you probably,
Destructomundo?
Like most people, you probably won't get what you really wanted for Christmas.
Yep.
That's the way it always is.
Because you weren't good?
No, just because the process sucks. But, it's one of the key things in survival is learning to make do with what you have.
Right. Survivor Man is all about that.
Most of the time you won't have exactly what you need, but you need to learn how to make the best of what you have. It's what in the military, as the Rangers say, improvise, adapt, and overcome. You gotta be able to think on the go like that. Improvise, adapt, and overcome. So you won't get the stuff that you really want. You won't get the fire axe. You won't get the Lewis gun. The stuff that you really need to fight the devastating hordes of the apocalypse.
It's always the hordes.
Yes.
So what you're saying is that
the most important
Christmas is a letdown.
The most important thing in the long run, to get, for even if we spend 2 minutes remotely on topic, the most important thing ultimately, it's all in your head. The ultimate survival tool is your mindset.
Right.
You can have as much gear, as many gadgets and gizmos and whatever. You could have an entire fortress filled with them. But if you don't have the right kind of mindset, if you don't know how to use the stuff that you have, it's one thing to have stuff.
Oh, yeah, fellas, like, I'm odd man out, like, for real. Like, Derek has got firearms galore. Adam has a halberd.
But I say,
I have an airsoft rifle.
I say it's one thing to have stuff, but you need to know how to use the stuff. So I mean, you can get whatever you want, whatever you think you need, whatever. If you don't need it, if you just want it because you think it's cool.
Spend your day off spend your day off in your room, not hanging out with the family that you don't want to hang out with.
Yeah.
Google Earth your neighborhood and find all the cool spots in your neighborhood to go to. Because honestly, that's what I do all the time, and I love I can find all those weird passages through my neighborhood that I would use if anything really went down, and I know where to go. So, spend that day that you don't want to be hanging out with your, drunken relatives to, Google Earth, all the cool shit in your area.
But as I say,
drink a lot of eggnog.
Like I said, ultimately it's all, it comes down to your mindset and your way of thinking and your will to survive.
Right.
And like I said, you can have all kinds of cool stuff, the gadgets, the high-tech shit. If you don't know how to use it, it's useless. And then, I want to learn a lot of the old school stuff, the low-tech stuff. That's what I'd really like to learn, to where, when the gadgets don't work,
How to make a really good sharpened stick.
I mean, I want to learn like I'd like to learn. I just mean like I just want to take one of those survival courses. I want to learn like the old school hardcore ways to to make a fire, build a shelter,
right?
That type of stuff, and
fix a gelato.
How to actually like make
a decent martini.
Yes, I mean the stuff like actually how to navigate by the stars.
Yeah, that's something that a lot of people really don't understand because they don't get a chance to see.
That's what I mean.
A decent constellation.
Yeah. But I think that kind of stuff's really cool. But like I said, you won't. Most of the time, you don't really get what you really want for Christmas.
Right.
Improvise, adapt, and overcome.
Words to live by.
Yes. I could give you more words to live by.
Well, we got plenty to go by with this show, and
I have a couple of simple rules, but I'll save those for Derek's rules.
I don't want no communists riding with me.
Derek's
no Christians either.
Derek's rules. Derek's rules of.
Well, Merry Christmas, everybody out there from Destructomundo.
And Happy Holidays.
Yes.
If you're not a Christian,
Happy Festivus.
If you're not a Christian, I'm supposed to say Happy Holidays to you.
Right.
Because I don't want to offend you. I'm not a Christian either, so don't think I'm supporting.
Right. So Merry Xmas.
Yes, Merry Xmas. Happy Holidays. Happy Hanukkah. Chanukah.
Ranama.
Rashomon?
Rashomon starts.
Happy Rashomon. Happy Rashomon.
Ramadan does start in
what's the appropriate adjective for Kwanzaa?
I don't know that there actually is a
chillin'.
Is it Happy Kwanzaa?
Let's have a chillin' Kwanzaa.
Or is it Merry Kwanzaa?
Fly
Kwanzaa. Have yourself a fly Kwanzaa.
Sweet.
Well, they are down with the candles.
Whatever you're celebrating, have a good one.
Yeah, exactly. Drink lots of eggnog.
And if you're not celebrating
eggnog,
and if you're not
multi,
and if you're not celebrating anything, and you're sitting alone in your underwear in a trailer, then
all right,
okay.
Basically, if you're not celebrating something this time of year, you are full-blown Scrooge, and you need to be visited by the ghost of Kwanzaa past, and then
who's a fuzzy wuzzy,
and then the ghost of Hanukkah present, and then the ghost.
I'm not gonna say what that
Ramadan future.
I'm not gonna say what that ghost of Hanukkah present. Oh boy. Yeah, but anyway.
Yeah, that puts it down. All right. From Destructomundo, this is James, and happy holidays, Merry Christmas, happy Kwanzaa.
Have a holly jolly Christmas. See, most people don't
have
pronounce.
A lovely solstice.
Yeah, that's right. It is solstice.
That was yesterday.
Was it yesterday?
The day before.
Couple
the
days
days do start getting
I didn't dance around the standing stones in the field with the winter solstice. I was supposed to anoint myself with the 7 sacred oils and dance around the standing stones.
I couldn't make it to the ley lines.
Yeah.
I was too busy.
No one knew who they were, what they were doing.
The little folk of the woods came out and we communed. The druids and the fairy folk and
the fae.
Brownies.
Tuath the Danon.
The sprites.
The gnomes.
And the gnomes.
All Garl Glitter Gold.
And the elves.
All hail. And the elf chicks.
The wood nymphs.
The elves have the hottest chicks of them all.
All right, off topic for just a second, but kind of on topic. Have you seen the commercials with the gay midget? The one from like he's the one from the Radio Shack commercials. He's like talking like that.
No, I have no idea what you're talking about.
Oh yeah, he's a little people. He's a little person. He's doing both
the singular version.
Well, they were doing the ads for Big Lots where they were supposed to choose like the spokes elf, and then he got chosen, I guess, to do the Radio Shack commercials as well. but he's got this horrible lisp in his voice, and he's all like, "Oh, you need a cell phone."
I have no idea what you're talking about.
It's really great. Yeah, it's got a terrible lisp in his voice, so he's got.
I have no idea what you're talking about.
Oh, it's perfect. It's perfect.
So do you hate gay people?
No, but I think that the whole, like, yeah, I think they're funny. No, that's so rude. Yeah, like, nobody out there knows me, but that's, not like that. I just think that shit's hilarious. So, like,
you don't hate gay people, you just think they're funny.
Yes.
You don't hate them, you just like to make fun of them.
I love that they're funny.
You just like to make fun of people who are different.
I think it's funny if you're like, you know,
they're flamboyant.
I have a big hairy ass, so like if you're interested in my big hairy ass, I find that hilarious.
Who said they're interested in you?
Well, I'm a Adonis, dude. You don't. So bad.
Anyway.
So bad for a Christmas special. We shouldn't be doing this, should we?
No.
It's the rum.
I hope everybody knows we're joking. Because we do this all the time, and I'm pretty sure that people out there think that we're like the most anti-Semitic people that they've ever heard, and that we're homophobes, and that we're...
And you don't like midgets.
And then I'm all into, like, Nazi she-wolves of the SS.
Well, that much is true.
Yeah, I actually am. They're bad. They're bad. I like the bad girls.
So bad it's good.
Yep. So bad it's hot. So we're going to end the show. All right.
Please, God, let it end.
From Destructomundo.
All one for Christmas.
This is James.
The show to end.
Adam.
What? Holy shit, I blew my line. Anyway.
All right.
What?
Your line.
Au revoir, go fair.
You didn't say it.
I know I didn't say it. That's my Christmas present to everyone.
That you didn't say it?
But I didn't say it. See, they're going to have to deal with that.
Oh.
They were expecting it.
But they didn't get it?
They didn't get it.
Oh, that's awful.
I'm
dude.
mixing
you
it
left
up.
them a lump of coal.
I'm mixing it up.
Derek left you a lump of coal for Christmas, man.
It's harsh.
Rough
man.
shit. All right.
Life's harsh.
Good night. Happy Christmas. Happy holidays.
Feliz Navidad.
And all the other stuff.
Feliz.
Feliz Navidad.
Beans and disease to you, too.
Feliz Navidad. Prospero.
That's Trini Lopez?
Yeah, it's a fucking great song.
Yes. Right. Okay. He's in the Dirty Dozen. You know?
He is in the Dirty Dozen.
Hey, dude. He's one of the Dirty Dozen. Anyway.
Happy holidays.
Yes.
Good night.
I'm Mr. Green Christmas. I'm Mr. Sun. I'm Mr. Heat Blister. I'm Mr. 101. They call me Heat Miser. Whatever I touch starts to melt in my clutch. I'm too much.
He's Mr. Green Christmas. He's Mr. Sun. He's Mr. Heat Blister. He's Mr. 101.
They call me Heat Miser. Whatever I touch starts to melt in my clutch.
He's too much.
Thank you. I never want to know a day that's under 60 degrees. I'd rather have it 80, 90, 100 degrees. Oh, some like it hot, but I like it really hot.
He's Mr. Green Christmas. He's Mr. Sun.
Sing it!
He's Mr. Heat Blister. He's Mr. 101.
They call me Heat Miser. Whatever in my clutch. I'm too much.